Hi guys, my name is Denny. Welcome to Treeline Online. Today we are going to be doing a standing stretching flow using the hammock. We're going to get into the hamstrings, we're going to get into the hips, we'll warm up the spine a little bit, and we'll just get into the legs in general. Today we want to have our hammock at hip height. So if you bring the hammock to the hips, press down on the tension, and it should just be around the hips. If your hamstrings are a little bit tighter, you can move your hammock down a little bit lower because we're not going to be going upside down today, but hip height is going to work best. We're going to begin in our backpack position, so go ahead and get your hammock on in your backpack, and we'll start with a chair. So go ahead and sink into your chair. You can bring your hammock just around the back in the bra strap area. Hips, feet hip distance apart. We're going to roll through some cat-cows to wake up the spine. So for our cat, we are opening in the collarbones. A little bit of an arch in the back, looking up to the sky. On your exhale, bring the elbows forward, tuck the hips, roll the spine, ribs in. Inhale, drop the hips, press into the fabric, open the collarbones, look up to the sky. Exhale, round, tuck the pelvis, elbows forward, hips up, ribs in. Let's roll through 2 more of those. Drop the hips, press into the fabric, open the collarbones, look up. Exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the pelvis, curve the spine, elbows forward. Let's come to a neutral spine position. Keep your right foot firmly planted on the floor. We're going to bring the left foot into a figure 4. So cross the ankle over the knee. Keep the foot flexed to protect the knee. Sink into that hip. Send the breath to any tight areas that you might be feeling in the left hip. If you want to go a little bit deeper, remove the left hand, gently place down on the left knee for a deeper stretch. One more inhale here. Release the hand. If you took your hand to your knee, release the foot. Let's stretch our legs up. We're going to take a little bit of a heart opener here. So option to release the arms, option to release the head if that feels good for you. If it doesn't feel good on your neck, keep the chin tucked. Hips up, opening in the shoulders. Really nice heart opener here. Circle the arms back up onto the hammock, and let's rock it out. If at any time you're feeling the hammock a little bit tight on your back, you're always welcome to readjust. So pull up on your hammock, readjust, and then proceed with your flow. So if at any time you need to stop and do that, feel free to do so. Okay, other side. Plant the left foot. Bring the right foot up onto the left knee. Keep the right foot flexed. Sink into the foot on the ground, and we're really sinking into that outer hip on the right. Option to bring the hand to the knee if you want to go a little bit deeper. And some nice deep breaths here. So one side might be tighter than the other. That's completely normal. Just acknowledge it without judgment. Think about sending the breath to any areas that feel especially tight. Let's do one more big inhale here. And exhale. Release the right hand if you've removed it from your hammock. Bring the hand back up, and we're going to rock it out. Let's extend the legs, plant the feet. Option to open the arms, open the collarbones for a nice heart opener. Circle the arms around, grab onto your hammock. We're going to press our feet into the floor and come all the way up into our second stage resting position. So we're just going to hang out here. Let the blood flow into your hands. So this is one of our resting positions. So if at any time something doesn't feel very good, you're welcome to come here and just hang out while we're in the posture. Whenever you're ready, we're going to tuck the pelvis and we're going to slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Head is the last to come up. Release the back from your armpits. If you need to take a step back, please do so. We're going to grab onto our hammock and bring our arms to this W position. So we're pressing our hands into the fabric. And we're just going to hinge at the hips here for a little bit of a pec stretch. Let's take a twist to the right. So we're going to press our left hand into the fabric, look over the right shoulder. And you should be feeling a little bit more of an intense stretch on the left pec here. One last inhale. Exhale, bring it back to the center. Other side. Looking over the left shoulder, pressing into the fabric on the right hand. And getting into that right pec a little bit deeper. One more inhale here. Exhale, bring it back to the center. From here, we're going to pass the hammock over our head and slide our hands down our fabric. We're going to extend the arms to the front of the room, send the hip bones to the back of the room. Tummy's tight. A very nice shoulder stretch here. You might also feel this in the back of your hamstrings. Let's tuck the pelvis, roll it up, one vertebrae at a time. Head's the last to come up. When you get here, let's circle the shoulders around, back and down. Take a step back from your hammock and release your hands from your wrist wrap. Let's just take a mountain pose here. I'm just observing any effects of the stretches that we just did. The spine should be a little bit more awake now. We're going to get ready to get into our standing leg stretches. Okay, so rooting down through our left foot, nice and strong on the foot on the floor. If you need to take a little bit of a bend in the knee so you're not hyperextending, please do so. We're going to keep the foot flexed. The right hand's going to grab onto the fabric in front of us. We're going to take a nice big inhale here. Lengthening through the spine, hinging at the hips, folding forward. So depending on how tight your hamstrings are is going to be how tight you want to come down. Ultimately, we're working to get our tummy on our thigh. If you're not there today, that's okay. I am not either. Sending the breath into the hamstring in the back of the leg, making sure that we're keeping the right hip down. With each breath, you might be able to go a tiny bit further. It's also a great balancing posture. We're using the hammock for support, but we are staying active in that left leg and through the core. Let's roll it back up. I'm going to split the fabric in half and grab onto each of your poles. From here, we're going to be a little bit more active in this hamstring variation. So grabbing back on the hammock, active through the arms like you're pulling on the reins. It might be lifting your foot a little bit higher, so a little bit of a deeper stretch here. But hinging at the hips, and same thing, looking towards our knee to nose, going to wherever feels good for you. The hammock is great for assisting us to get into these deeper postures, so let's take one more inhale here. And rolling it back up. We're going to move into a spinal twist. So for this one, we're going to be bringing the foot across to the opposite side of our mat, so opposite corner. You can hold on with the left hand. If you need to readjust where you are under your rigging point here, you're welcome to take a little hop in. Right hand is going to stay on the right hip to encourage the right hip to stay down. And we're taking the left leg across the body, looking over the right shoulder. Option to extend the right arm. I'm getting a nice twist through the spine here, like we're wringing out the spine. If you want a little bit more, we can bring the left hand to the opposite side of the fabric for a little bit more traction there, and pressing in with the left hand and continuing to look over the right shoulder. If that's a bit too much, just stay with the hand on the fabric. With every breath, we're trying to just get a little bit of a deeper twist on the exhale. Let's do one more inhale. A little bit further if you can. And exhale, release. Slide in the hammock down to the arch of the foot now. We're going to turn the right knee out and come into our attitude position. So again, if you need to take a little readjustment with where your foot is at under your rigging point, please do so. We're pressing forward into our hammock. My hammock is quite high today, so I'm not getting a lot of range here, but I am getting a nice stretch in the outside of my right hip. If you're not feeling too much of a stretch here, you might just be really open in your hips, so this is more of a strengthening and balancing position for you. If you are tight in your hips, you should be feeling a stretch in the outside of the hip. Compress a little bit more forward to get a deeper stretch. You also might be feeling a stretch in that left hip flexor. Let's take one last inhale here. And exhale, bring the knee back in, releasing the foot down to the ground. And let's just give our feet a little bit of a shake out there. Okay, same thing again, other side. So, rooting through the right foot this time, bringing the left knee up and in, bringing the hammock onto our left ankle, keeping the left foot flexed. This time it's left hand on the hammock around shoulder height. A little bit of a soft bend through that other knee. Nice deep inhale. Lengthening through the spine and hinging at the hips, folding forward down towards the left knee. Feeling that nice stretch through the left hamstring. Working on getting our tummy closer to our thigh. Sending the breath to wherever is tightest. Let's take one more inhale here. And exhale, rolling it up through the spine. Little bit of a deeper hamstring stretch. Both hands on our poles, readjusting the foot if needed. Nice and active in the arms for this one. And hinging at the hips. So a little bit deeper getting into the hamstring here, just because we're a little bit more elevated in this position. But only going to where feels good for you today. We don't want to use the hammock to go too far. It is a tool to aid us, but we don't want to push our range too much. Taking one more inhale here. And exhale, release the arms forward, rolling it back up. We're moving into our spinal twist. So this time, right hand on the pole, both poles together. Bringing the right leg across the body, left hand comes onto the left hip. Option to extend the left arm behind us. Getting a nice twist here. Working on your balance at the same time. If you want a little bit more traction, option to bring the right back of the wrist to the other side of the hammock. Deepening the twist. If that's not for you today, that's okay. Stay with the hand on the hammock. Inhale, grow long. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. On your last inhale, see if you can twist that little bit further. And exhale, release. Slide in the hands, drawing the fabric, bringing the fabric into the arch of the foot. Left knee turns out this time. Holding on to your poles and then pressing forward into the hammock for attitude position. So really nice stretch on the outside of the hip here. I'm definitely feeling it today. I had a performance yesterday, so those hips are feeling really tight. The further you slide your hands down the hammock, the deeper the stretch. You also might be feeling it in that right hip flexor. If you're not feeling any stretch at all, remember this is a strengthening position for you. Inhale, press the hips a little bit further forward if you can. One last inhale here. And exhale, bring the foot back towards the body. Release the foot. Give the legs a little bit of a shake out. One deep breath here. I'm just noticing if you feel any difference in the legs. We're going to finish class today with one roll down through the spine. So hands shoulder width apart. Bringing the feet under the rigging point. Feet hip distance apart. Hinging at the hips, send the arms forward. Sending the hips back. Picking up the tummy. Finding lots of length in the spine. The hamstrings might feel a little bit more stretched out after our standing flow. Let's take one nice big inhale and exhale, rolling it up, stacking the vertebrae one at a time. All the way up. One last inhale, bring the shoulders all the way up to the ears. And exhale, around, back and down. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed our standing stretching flow. We'll see you next time.